And good morning. Happy Sabbath. Feliz Sabado. Shabbat Shalom. And to our Hebrews brothers and sisters, Chag Shemet Shavarim.
I have no idea.
I know. That was a curveball for you.
Okay, yeah.
So let me break that down. So we went more than trilingual on that right there. But what we did there was we said, obviously, Happy Sabbath in Spanish, English, and Hebrew. Okay. But then also we're saying Happy Holidays because it is the fall holidays that most people do not realize.
You are correct.
So something fresh that you can talk about over potluck today.
You can, yes. And yeah, for anybody who wants to know, I have a story that I can tell later about. Mark used to have a little Yiddish friend.
Oh, really?
But that would take up way too much time.
He's shaking his head. He's worried about what you're going to say next. Well, it is fall, right? So this is what's exciting about this. So do you know all this? This is what I love living in Texas. All the things that start happening. So do you know, even this week, we have a lot of stuff happening. Let me see if I can remember everything. So I'm going to start rattling. This is going to be pure memory. So
okay. Don't brag now.
All right. So we have, on September 22nd, we have two things happening. We have the first day of fall at 2:21 p.m. here in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Not until then.
Not until then. Then we have the Feast of Tabernacles that starts on that day as well.
So we can just go to Chick-fil-A and eat whatever we want? Is that how?
Right. Okay. And then Thursday we have the North Texas Day of Giving.
Okay, yes.
And then we also have Friday the start of, I know very big and near to your heart,
yes.
the Texas State Fair starts on Friday. Did you realize that was already coming?
I did, because, we get those emails about the free tickets and the kids going on trips to,
Good. All right, so you're already up to speed on that.
So I'm kind of like,
good.
Right, yeah.
Well, then we have October the 2nd, which you're going to talk about the ministry fair. We have October the 9th that's coming up as well, that we're going to talk about the open house for Revive. And so we have Juliet Johnson that will be talking about that, hopefully. Yeah. Then October the 16th, we have the sermon series, or actually on October 15th and 16th, that's starting. And then also Shindig. Wow. On October the 16th.
And I think, ladies and gentlemen, he's just wrapped up our whole Arlington Life segment in 30 seconds from memory. But,
there we go.
We're not going to brag.
Well, so I'm going to ask you, though, do you have boots? I know Tom does, and he likes to wear them anytime.
Do I have boots?
Yeah, I have to ask you.
So here's the funny thing. I have boots, but I'm a thrifty person, right? So Tom, he knew he would wear his a lot more. And me, I'm kind of I don't know if I could pull off the boots as well. So I kind of started secondhand boot-ish. And they're not the most comfortable, but I mean, and I really only would wear them in winter if I have a long skirt, put the boots on, it has to be subtle bootish. And then of course, since we're from the East Coast, everybody makes fun of my boots, except for one of my very good friends who is also a boot fan. And so I'll go to him and say what do you think about, this or that? So if I ever do really commit and get a really nice pair of boots like Tom has, I would probably ask him for advice as well. But how about you? Do Hermans have boots?
Absolutely not.
None of the Hermans have boots.
Well, my wife has stylish boots, but we stay away from cowboy boots.
Okay.
So,
but see, I think Tanya would look super cute in cowboy boots.
She would like it, yeah.
And
but she's from Chicago, so she resists. She doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. So that probably wraps up our banter for the morning.
That's our witty banter.
Yeah, that was our witty banter.
Okay.
So let's jump into the rest of the things that we have to touch about. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So I believe my next thing that we had to talk about was a quick briefing or debrief of the sermon, which is Listening Heart, right?
Yes.
And so the discussion today is going to be about the full commitment to Christ. We can't be partial. It's all in.
All in.
And so that's going to be the sermon today that Pastor Kevin's going to be giving. Some of you, if you're already tuning in, you already heard it, but that's going to be for Mosaic. That's the next topic. Okay. And then Pastor Kayla will be talking about the continuing series on I Am Second.
Yeah.
Here for YG. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All right, so now I'll toss it back to you.
So now we talk about the ministry fair. All right. So October 2nd, we're having a ministry fair. It's like a carnival theme, which I think is appropriate, right? It's kind of a little crazy, a little fun. We see all the different ministries we offer here, and people can see maybe what they want to be a part of, how they want to help, and people that are already serving in those ministries are going to be there to answer questions, give them, a little more information if they want it. You'll be able to sign up. Some of the booths have some little goodies at them. And I think I heard there was going to be a thing where we had a stamp, a card stamp thing, and if you go around to each of the booths and get the stamp, you might get a goodie at the end, but I'm going to have to double check with management on that.
Okay.
We'll just throw that out as a teaser.
All right.
Well,
we'll have more time to talk about that down the road, and maybe I'll talk with management too on the second segment. We'll follow up with the viewers on that.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. All right. We're going to flip over now. Reggie, you wanted to talk to me about a DIY group that's coming up.
Let's talk about DIY. So that is our very own Adriana Manicherry. She's going to be starting some series on that. I need to attend because I completely messed up a floating shelf at the house.
Stop it. Those are harder than they look.
They are.
We tried.
Yeah.
I can give you some tips. Have you heard of liquid nail?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, let's talk about that later.
Yeah, we're going to talk later.
All right,
okay,
so
yeah.
more DIY stuff that we can talk about later. So that is something that you want to sign up on here, and you can actually go through Arlington Life online and sign up for that. Space is limited. It's free, but space is limited, and we suggest that you sign up for that so that you're able to take part of that. She also, Adriana, has her own, actually, what did she tell me last time I spoke to her? I think she's a micro follower, meaning she's had, I think, like 1,000 people that are following her right now on what she's doing. Adriana probably will correct me later on about what it truly is, but she has a following. She does a lot of great stuff.
Really good
really
work.
encourage y'all to do that. If you're handy and enjoy working with your hands, that would be a great thing to take part of. So I'll toss it back to you.
Okay, from DIY on to divorce care. All right,
that's
the
an easy
D's. We're going to hit the D's.
Yeah,
right. Totally.
Easy
I don't know how
transition.
to. If you don't do the right DIYs,
it could end in divorce.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you are in need of it, we have a divorce care seminar series.
Yes.
13 weeks.
13 weeks. And we've served over 1 million people through that program.
We have. Can you tell Reggie's the one that memorizes and is super good, and I'm just like kind of fly by the seat of my pants? It's a video-based series.
Thank you.
So no live in-person divorcees, whatever. But you can register for the upcoming session. Go to Arlington Life Online. Go ahead and register for that. I don't know. I might need it after this segment is done. But Reggie's good. Reggie's good. So, yeah. So now, you want to talk about Shindig and the speaker series?
Yeah. So Shindig, as we mentioned, October the 16th, we were talking about whether or not you have boots. You don't need cowboy boots if you want to attend. There'll be good food. I'm assuming like in the past, we have a lot of good food out there for both vegetarians and people that do prefer more protein.
There you go.
So there is that option that you can have. So it'll be good fellowship. It's been over a year since we've had this. So this should be some good fun to get together, an excuse to hang out with our congregation after sundown, and just hopefully, I'll check into it in a couple weeks to see what the weather looks like, but hopefully we get a little fall weather, because in the past, it's always been kind of chilly on Shindig, and hopefully we'll get the same weather where it'll be comfortable and relaxed to be outside. Yeah. The speaker series, that's Dr. Pauline, who's coming from Loma Linda. He's the dean of religion there at that university, and he will be the speaker series leading that on Friday and Saturday of October the 15th and 16th. So be sure that you pay attention for upcoming information on that, because there'll be more coming on that, and hopefully you'll be here at church and be able to attend or watch online when that occurs on October 15th and the 16th.
Okay, so last Sunday we had a car show here.
Yes.
The second annual car show. So we had all different cars that came out. It was right here in the parking lot. I think 21 in total. Got prizes for the ones that won their category.
Yeah.
We had
your daughter handed out the prizes, right?
Caroline, and helped make them. Yeah,
oh, really?
A little crafty DIYer, right?
There you go.
So Pathfinders were there selling food. Burton class of 2023, which sounds crazy to say, were there selling some food too. I think we have some pictures. Let's see if we.
Well, as those get pulled up, oh wow, there's the Model Ts. Like I think we had 21 cars that entered.
21 cars registered from people all over the Metroplex. So this was a pretty good event. They got a lot of different people coming, which we like to see.
We have the Mustangs. There's a Corvette.
Yeah.
Okay.
We like our regulars, but like some kids that helped out.
All right,
super
from Burton.
cute.
There we go.
Look at the curls. Why do the guys get the best curls? I don't know.
Oh, there's someone that won. Okay. And
is
this is the video.
This is the spin. What is it? A spin out?
This is the burnout.
Burnout. I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh wow, that's a serious burnout.
Yeah, of course, Mr. Wassel there, looking super cool with the burnout, and like literally, yes, the tires do burn.
They did. Yeah. And actually, I made sure that I looked for them walking in today, and it's legit tire and rubber left on the pavement. It is serious. Yeah. I wish I could have seen that in person.
Yeah. That's definitely a guy thing. I just don't. But anyway, hey, it's cool.
Yeah, I could enjoy a replay of that again. That was so great.
Okay, we'll get that to you so you can look at it whenever you want.
Well, you know what, and that's a great little teaser because you can always go back, since most people don't have time to watch this because they're getting ready for Sabbath.
Yes, right.
You can go back and watch this on YouTube, and you could watch that video over again.
Right. It's true.
Sorry, I threw you a curveball.
No, you're fine.
Going.
You're fine. Right. No, you're actually up next because we got your weather segment.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Let's see if I can do it in 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Take your time.
All right, well, let's go to the maps.
From memory, let's hit it.
All right, so this is what I'm so excited about. This first map, you know what this is indicating?
I have no idea.
It's a FROPA.
A FROPA. Oh, can I guess what the acronym is?
Actually, I really enjoyed it.
FROPA, right? Okay, from rear of positional Arctic. No.
Well, you're okay. I'll
Talk
give
to
you
me.
some
It's
points
fine.
for trying.
Be real.
And I
It's
loved
okay.
how you threw that in there. All it is short for frontal passage, but that was still good.
That's
but
not as
you know
fun.
what? Here's how you can tie that in.
Okay.
Because the air that we're going to experience on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is actually from Manitoba. So in just a few hours, we have a surface low that will be moving across Canada that will start pulling that air down from Manitoba.
Okay.
Now, this was the same air that got pulled down in February. Now, granted, we didn't enjoy that air in February, but we're going to enjoy this air when it shows up. So right here, what you see, the pictures, as the front starts passing through DFW, you can see here in South Central Arlington, we're going to be 84 degrees at noon on Tuesday when the front starts coming through. So let's go to the next map, which is our second map of Texas. This is going to be the highs on Wednesday. Now, the Canadian model has a bit overdone here on how cool it's going to be. They're saying 79 degrees, 78, 79 degrees here in Dallas-Fort Worth. For those watching at home, just count down 3 counties from the Red River, and you're going to see where Dallas-Fort Worth is at. Now, the good news here, then it gets even better. So the next couple days, beautiful weather, low humidity. I'm going to say in one word to sum up the weather, superb. Let's go to the low on Thursday morning. Next map, and I love this map. There's a bunch of blue everywhere. We're going to be in the 50s on Thursday morning. So really some good fall weather that we're going to start enjoying. You're going to want it because potentially Monday we're going to be 100 degrees. So this is going to feel very refreshing. And now I have to wrap up the weather because we're right at 10 o'clock. So let's go to the final map, and this is going to be a tease for the October session. I will have the winter forecast for our Arlington Live staff in the next October setting. What you see here is the Old Farmer's Almanac. What they're calling for is for a cold winter across the U.S. So we will see. More to come here next month, and we'll talk about that. Seasons of Shivers.
I
know you love that.
I think you should keep that. That's amazing. Yeah, I thought that Reggie made this and put that in himself, and you could have totally taken credit, but you're a good guy, so you didn't. Whatever. Okay.
Well,
and so Season of Shivers. You can just keep it.
Plus, since it's on the air, I don't ever want to get sued. So we have to give credit where credit's due.
Oh, my gosh. Okay,
You never know. When 2 or 3 people are watching, I could get in trouble.
You could get in trouble. And I'm... Okay, anyway, yeah. So that's it.
So with that, let's segue. Let's cue up the video. And in just moments' time, we'll have Juliet Johnson that will be joining us. And we're going to be talking about Revive Ministry.
Okay, excellent.
Good morning. All right. Well, we're back. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I have Juliet Johnson next to me. Good morning, Juliet.
Good morning. Thank
you for inviting me. Yes, good to see you in person. Yes. All right. Well, Juliet, we wanted to bring you in today to talk about the Revive Ministry, and obviously you've had a big part of that, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, we didn't have time earlier to talk about what's needed for Revive, and obviously this week is a big Revive Week ministry, Tuesday and Wednesday, right?
Right.
We got going on. So as usual, we're going to want the diapers, the wipes. I did see a special request for tomato soup and crackers. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. Anything else that you can think of that we need to ask for folks to bring by this week?
Rice and beans are always needed, so that's always a good thing. Of course, you did mention the diapers, always a big need for that.
Yes.
So, yes.
I always notice, I think it's sizes 4 to 6. Like that's a staple that we always need that, right?
Yes, because I think everyone tends to buy like the smaller ones.
Okay.
And then forget about the larger, kids and the toddlers and things like that. So, yeah.
That's a very good point. I didn't even think about that. Okay. Well, see, now you put that into context why we always are asking for sizes 4 to 6. I didn't realize that. Okay. Well, good. Well, thank you for that. All right, well, let's kind of jump into our conversation here. Once again, thank you for taking time to sit next to me here so we can talk this morning.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about where you're from, where your family's from, and ultimately what brought you here to Arlington. So let's start with how long you've lived here in Texas and where you're originally from.
Okay, well, I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. I know people don't believe that. It's like, where's your accent? Well, I've been here for a while. Been here since I was a child, so it's gone.
Okay.
But my family came here to Galveston mid-'60s, and we've been here ever since. I came up to this area in the late 70s to go to UTA. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. I went to
Mavericks.
UTA
Yeah,
too.
yes.
Okay, great. What did you take there at UTA?
I did business administration.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay. So when did you graduate there at UTA? Okay, we'll say it was in the 20th century. I graduated in the 20th century too. We'll just keep it the 20th century.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, I saw the look on your face. Let's keep it broad. All right, I'll come up with another softball question for you. Sorry. All right, so you graduated in the 20th century like I did.
Yes.
Okay, from UTA. So then at that point, were you here and you stayed here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area after that?
Yes, and I came up to go to school, and I love the area so much, so when I graduated, I decided to stay.
Okay.
So, been here, since that time.
Okay, so you've seen a lot of change here in the area, because we actually showed up. I moved here from Tennessee, and we lived out in the Southeast for years, well, for most of the 70s, and then we moved in 1980 here to Fort Worth, and so we've basically been here since 1980. So seen a lot of change as well, but obviously we've enjoyed it here as well.
And it's always construction.
Yes.
Exactly. Never finishes, but it's really growing a lot, and I still love the area. And I really can't imagine living anyplace else.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Now, you realize, though, technically coming from Galveston, people would consider that somewhat Houston. People in Houston don't really like people from Dallas. You realize that, right? Have you heard that before?
Not really.
Okay, well, good.
Not of people that I know.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad you're open-minded.
They think they're terrible drivers, but other than that, no, they don't have a problem with that.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad we don't have that we have to worry about. Okay.
But no.
So, okay, you were here in Arlington. You enjoyed it. You stayed. So when did you actually come to the Arlington church? What year was that?
I would probably want to say mid-'90s because we registered our son in Burton. His name is also Reggie.
Oh, okay.
And so, with the church is heavily involved with the school, so we'd be here for Vespers and graduations, things like that. But we went to another church, and then we came here one Sabbath for service and really enjoyed it. And the couple that was sitting in front of us invited us to their Sabbath school class and enjoyed that, and been coming here ever since.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. So I think we showed up maybe 10 years before that. In 84, we showed. So we came in when it was actually on Pioneer Parkway. And then, obviously, they moved here by late 80s, and the church campus was here.
Yeah, as long as we've been coming, it's always been here.
Okay, well, great. Since the 90s, you've been coming. Okay, awesome. All right, well, then, obviously, I have to ask you, you've been here a long time, and that's great. So you've seen a few pastors come through the door then, because you've been here since the 90s.
Yeah, I was Pastor Mike when we started coming, yes.
That's right. All right. So as things have kind of transitioned, and you even heard us earlier during the other segment, we talked about the ministry. So how did you get involved with Revive, and what brought you to that? Well,
I was sitting in a service one Sabbath, and I guess the ministry moment came up, and some people from Revive were up there, and they had bottles of water, and they said, "Hey, we're going to be going out to the park this afternoon and distribute water." And for some reason, I thought, I'd like to do that. I don't really know why that struck me, but it did. So I contacted the director, got involved that way, and over the years we've been, done a lot of things at the park. Remember going out, handing out socks, serving food. Remember one winter around Christmas time doing hot chocolate and treats and singing carols horribly, I might add, but we were out there doing that, and I just really enjoy that. And of course, we'd always got the Thanksgiving baskets and the Christmas baskets and the Christmas toy drive. So over the years, we've always, just contributed some way. Well, then about 4 years ago, I got a chance to retire early, and I did. And so one of the first things I thought is, I want to actually do more with Revive. I want to go ahead and get involved with the food pantry. So that's when I started doing that.
Okay. Well, that's great, because that's one thing that hopefully at some point I'll be able to retire. I know it gets harder and harder to retire these days, but that's something I would love to do, is get involved with a nonprofit or do a ministry like that. So it sounds like that's been very fulfilling for you to be doing that.
It really has been. It's really just been, you think that you're giving, but it's like I'm getting so much personally. And one of the things, I don't know about you, but I realize myself sometimes I focus so much on what you don't have, and you forget to be grateful for just the basic things and what you do have. And so that's been like a really, really big blessing for me, because that's really made me kind of focus and just be grateful and more thankful for what I've got.
I think that's a really good point, because I think sometimes you don't realize when you're doing that, there's multi-levels of blessings that get to occur. Not only are you blessing someone, and it brings you joy to bless somebody.
They're blessing you too.
Right, exactly. They're blessing you, and you're experiencing a different level of blessings because you're a part of that. So that's really great that you point that out. Okay, well, let me ask you about this, because obviously we live in interesting times. So there's a couple questions there I have to ask you when it comes to that. So what would you say, since you've been a part of it for 4 years, what has it been like to be part of that ministry during the pandemic?
Wow. That's been interesting. We went from, being able to, have the people come in and see them one-on-one and speak with them that way. Well, the pandemic, obviously shifted that because we weren't able to have the close personal contact. But I'm just still so glad that we're able to do, because then, we had a drive-through, and that's actually still going on. So even through the pandemic and everything else, it's like God still blessed us to be able to go ahead and make the adjustments. And we're going from serving pre-pandemic maybe 75 to 85 families, every time that the pantry was open, to a high of somewhere around, 250 during the height of the pandemic. And now it's leveled off to maybe about 150 families or carfuls. So, so just being able to still do that, I mean, that's just tremendous.
Well, yeah, and I think it's really interesting, too, that you've teamed with the Tarrant County Food Bank as well. Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of great things that have happened. Yeah.
And I know, I think we've gotten food from, not obviously from the food bank, but also from, I think, I forgot what they're called, but we were able to get some donations from like other places that had food, and then they weren't able to give it all out, so then we got some of that. So I mean, just the blessings just keep coming and coming. So even when you think, there's no way we can do this, then something always comes through.
Exactly. Well, and you kind of mentioned it because this is something else that happened during the pandemic, which is the winter apocalypse that happened back in February.
Oh, yeah.
And you had the flooding that occurred down there. And now I'm very excited. I still haven't seen the new digs that y'all have down there. I have to, but for sure, October the 9th. Are you going to be down there when we do the open house? Can we see you down there if we come?
I plan to be there, yes.
Okay. So look for Juliet on October the 9th. Okay. So that's really exciting. I think the Lord's blessed this church that we've been able to rebound and really now have a truly dedicated space for this. And I'm very excited to see what happens next. So let's ask this question, though. You kind of touched on it, how it's been a very big positive in your life. But what would you say one of the biggest blessings / story that you've seen that just kind of registers in your memory? What is there one thing that kind of stands above everything else when it comes to that, with what you've been involved in?
I do remember a gentleman that would come in on a regular basis, and he was kind of like the life of the party, just real happy-go-lucky, fun guy. And so, we just, speak sometimes, and I knew, I got to know a little bit about his job searches and things like that. And I remember one time he came in, and he was not his usual self. He was a little bit down, and so when we started talking, he shared that his mother had passed away. And so just for a few minutes we sat down, and he told me about it. I could tell that he really wanted to talk about it. So we spent some time, we talked about her, and we prayed, and I could just kind of see his spirits just kind of lift just a little bit. I mean, so, just to be able to go ahead and have that human connection, that just really helped him. And that sticks out in my mind so much.
Well, that's a great story, that you were there to be a part of that and to be the hands and feet of Christ, really,
exactly.
in the flesh there.
That's why you do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Juliet, I really appreciate it. I mean, this has been a good story. Good time to talk. Good time to talk. I'm definitely going to be looking for you October the 9th so we can catch up some more.
And I'm going to find you.
Okay. Are you going to actually give me a personal tour of the new digs?
I sure will.
Okay, good. So you heard that. So be sure you find Juliet so she can give you a tour of the new facility. I'm excited about that. All right. Well, I think we're just about up for time here for this first segment. Now we'll be coming back second segment after YG, and I think we just briefly touched on the fact that Pastor Kayla will be preaching on the I Am Second series. We also will have Pastor Tom will be in your chair here in just a few moments when we come back.
He'll be in the hot seat, all right.
Yeah, there you go. He'll be there, and so we'll be going over prayer requests, making sure that we're lifting that up to the Lord, because it's something that's very important. I think you've seen it in the church that we're dedicating time now to certain families, and we're going through the membership
I really like that.
and lifting folks up, and I think that's important, and we're going to take time to do that in the next segment as well. So, Juliet, thank you so much for sitting next to me today.
Again, thank you.
I've enjoyed this time, and so I'm going to definitely look for you October the 9th.
All right.
All right. Well, with that, we'll toss it back and enjoy YG, and we'll see y'all second segment.